Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we have the patch notes for the upcoming mid-month Part 2 update for She-Hulk and Black Widow. Now keep in mind, like other mid-month updates, there will be no maintenance for this. This is happening tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific, which is the latest it can basically happen. So for everyone else in the world, it's happening Wednesday very early in the morning into the afternoon, depending on where you are in the world and how far from the Pacific time you are in terms of your time zone. But yeah, it's happening today or tomorrow, but it's happening soon. Basically, it's happening in about 12 hours from now, just a little bit less than that. So what is happening? So we're getting a brand new uniform for She-Hulk based on the Disney Plus show that is currently airing. No Megan Thee Stallion references here, thankfully, but what we do have is an upgrade for She-Hulk. Now the upgrade had a little bit of a controversy because they typoed her leadership, so you're going to see a lot of old comments from when the patch notes first came out about people panicking that they reduced her leadership to 20%. It's been fixed, changed, I guess, whatever. It hasn't been increased. It's still 65%, which is what it has been from the latest uniform, up from 48 from her base look. But yeah, 65%, still the same leadership, still going to apply to a lot of content. Her uniform effect gives her attack, and it keeps the guard break immunity, which is nice, and it increases damage dealt to boss types. That damage dealt to boss types might be a clue into what the devs wanted us to do with her, which I'm leaning towards PvE content currently, but some people might say she's not useful for anything. She does get some super armor, all defense, skill damage, bonus damage, and damage reduction, so she should be fairly tanky with ignore dodge and chain hit. However, when you get to her skills is where you really start to see why people are a bit worried. There's nothing on her first skill, nothing on her second skill. She has a 25% heal on Hulk Tornado that she can pop every 6.5 seconds. That's 6.5 seconds. That's okay. Then Relentless Spin, she gets silence, so she has both paralysis and silence, but she loses the burn from her previous uniform, so no trifecta ABX abilities. She has 5 seconds of, 9 seconds? Okay, that's a long time. I didn't realize that. 9 seconds of immunity and 10 seconds of a 50% attack buff. And then on her fifth skill, which is called Big Green Greeting, which is pretty funny, she has all defense and she has a frenzy buff with only 20% crit rate. They've sort of stopped matching the 45% or whatever it is. But yeah, 20% cooldown on her 4, 17 seconds on her 5. Very long cooldowns, me no like, and no accumulation, no spicy stuff. So if they want She-Hulk to be more than just a leadership, they're really going to need to have her hit mega hard. Now she's doing 100% physical here, 130 and 150 here. Maybe they know what to do. Maybe, hopefully, crossing my fingers, because even her tier 3, spoiler alert, does not feature accumulation or any sort of funky buffs. You only have the 1 damage proc buff for 1 attack. That's all. Now her tier 3 skill itself looks hilarious. If you like Ace Attorney or any of the Phoenix Wright games, you're gonna love this. Danny's probably somewhere thinking if she should get back into the game. She points around and then, does damage to you while reading you your rights, presumably, or reading you some passage from some law book. And then she closes the book and uses her other book instead, which is her fist. So that's cool. It looks hilarious. I like it. I dig it. But I am a little bit worried that She-Hulk's just going to be a leadership. Hopefully she's not. And then for Black Widow, she's getting a tier 4. Now, her tier 4 seems interesting. Let's say interesting. It increases her attack by 45%. Now, these are not the maximum buffs, I believe. I believe these buffs can go higher. I think the skill level goes up to 10. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like these are like halfway buffs. Anyways, but she has a very interesting second line. Evades 30 hits and increases damage dealt by 60% for 7 seconds. So these are 2 separate buffs here. There's a buff on her attack and there's a buff on her damage dealt. Damage dealt buffs are much better than attack buffs. Because just a very brief, very simple explanation. I'm simplifying the whole equation because I don't know the whole equation, but there's a damage equation, right? You have to, because the game has to figure out when you do an attack, the game has to take your attack stat, take all of the other attack stats that you have that matter, like crit rate and crit damage and whatever, take the defender's defensive stats, and then mash them together and come out with a damage formula, right? However, increasing damage dealt is sort of jumping, it's leapfrogging to the end, and it's whatever that final number is, that damage dealt number, we're going to increase that number by 60%. It's much, much better to increase the number at the end of the formula than it is to increase the number that's at the beginning of the formula. And again, I'm oversimplifying it, but you can check and ask people who are much better at math than I am, and they will explain it to you in better terms than I can, and they will confirm what I'm saying. Well, maybe they won't confirm what I'm saying from a math point of view, because I don't know if that's the case for all math, but I know it's for sure the case in MFF. Doing like damage dealt far exceeds the value of all attack. And the interesting thing is She-Hulk's leadership is damage dealt. That's what makes her leadership so good. It's not an attack leadership. It is a damage dealt modifier leadership. So a little bit of insight into sort of at MFF's workings, but all you need to know is that she has one of the most busted leaderships in the game, She-Hulk, for example, which works on all 4 World Boss Legends, which is great. And now Black Widow is getting that effect on her tier 4, which is really broken. But the evade 30 hits, I think, is what's going to draw a lot of people to her. And if she can survive in PvP, tap your nose, long enough to pop her tier 4, 30 hits is kind of still a lot of hits. Like, I know a lot of characters have multi-hit skills, but 30 is like a lot, dude. It's like 1 to 2 skills that she's just going to completely ignore while taking 0 damage. So that's pretty wild. And I wonder if this is going to be affected by ignore dodge, because it's not dodge, it's evade. And you also have her artifact, which is like Spider-Man. So she's going to be a dodging machine at tier 4. So that's very exciting for Black Widow. It'll be really interesting to see whether she ends up being better for PvE or PvP. But yeah, I feel a disturbance in the Force, but not necessarily a bad one. Then we have the new artifact for She-Hulk, which is interesting because it's a support passive artifact. So it applies to allies with the gamma radiation ability, which means it applies to her. It applies to Amadeus Cho, I believe. It applies to Abomination, and of course, Red She-Hulk, and of course, Hulk, our favorite green monster. Increases all basic attacks by 6% and an additional 0.4 of total instinct. Now, this is important. I wonder if this applies to her total instinct or the character's total instinct. I wonder, because if it applies to the characters, then that means Hulk will take advantage of his 3,000 plus instinct at tier 4. And this can stack up to 40%, which is huge because it's a 30-second buff with a 3-second cooldown. So this will basically always be active. And it means if you pair She-Hulk and Hulk together, you could have an insane team. Potentially. Not guaranteed. We'll have to wait and see. But I know people are saying, oh, all basic attack, Alex, that shouldn't work on Hulk because he deals damage based on his HP, not his attack. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure they didn't make this buff for her and Red She, like, you know, her and Red She-Hulk. It's just there's no one after She-Hulk and Hulk. The list drops tremendously down to Amadeus Cho and Red She-Hulk, and then even further for Abomination. So yeah, I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Then they're adding the Vishanti books to Giant Boss Raid Dormammu. They added the Time Shift Bomb to Gore World Boss Legend, and they did not fix the GBR bug in Dormammu, in the Dormammu raid. They did not fix that. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be upset about that, but let me speculate really quickly. We are still experiencing the B team. And I don't say that to insult the patch notes or insult the B team, but what I'm saying is the team that works on the main update that has maintenance, they are going to fix the Dormammu bug. That's the A team, and that's the team that's working right now on the next update. But they needed more time, which is why the B team wrapped up this content and pushed this content out. So that's my theory, is that the A team does the World Boss Legends, the GBRs, you know, they do the main part of the update. So the A team was responsible for the Fear Itself uniforms and the Gore World Boss Legend. And then the B team came in while the A team was releasing that. The B team was working on the Warriors of the Sky mid-month update, the Kamala Khan mid-month update, and now this She-Hulk Black Widow mid-month update. Okay, and that gives the A team more time. I'm guessing there's 2 teams working, you know, simultaneously, while one is sort of releasing the update, the other one is working on the finishing touches for the next update, and they just keep swapping. and swapping and swapping. A lot of different industries do this, especially Hollywood when it comes to movies and TV shows. And I wouldn't be surprised if video games were the same and they sort of copied that formula, because it's a much more effective way of doing things. You have your whole team, you split it, and then one team works on something, it gets released, and then the other team works on something, you know, and they sort of just, it's like pedaling a bike, right? Each team is one of the feet, and they're sort of just oscillating, taking turns, being the one to push the bike ahead. That's actually a pretty good analogy, Alex. Thanks, man. Anyways, that's what I think. And we'll have to wait and see. Tonight, I'll be live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Cynicalex, and we'll see how good this is. However, there is one more thing I want to point out to you. The She-Hulk update celebration event. So exciting. All uniform sale. This is what I wanted to point out to you. All uniforms will be on sale. So if you missed Black Widow's uniform and you want to get it now, not that I'm telling you should FOMO in and buy it, but if you missed it before and then you want a tier for her now, but you don't have her latest uniform, now is your opportunity to do so. All uniforms will be on sale for 40% off. However, I know there's people already typing messages in the comments of this video, so I'm going to say it before you type your message and hit enter because you're a smug B. There will be a 50% uniform sale in just 3 months' time. I know it's still a long way away. It's at the end of November. But the last Friday of November is called Black Friday, and it is a day for consumerism. And so mobile games have adopted that, and so they do their Black Friday sales, which are basically a sort of part 2 of whatever the anniversary sales were, sort of thing. So if you don't know what Black Friday is in Marvel Future Fight, you can Google Black Friday Marvel Future Fight. You'll see a bunch of my videos, beast modes, whatever. Go watch whatever video you want, figure it out. But yeah, I want you to know that there is a chance to buy uniforms now, yes, and you can if you want, cool. But if you want to wait 3 months, you get an extra 10% off, which is an extra, like, whatever, 100 crystals, I don't know, 125 crystals, something like that. And then you can save more, especially if you're a low spender or you are free to play. You want to take advantage as much as you can of the Black Friday sales. But yes, for everybody else that doesn't care about Black Friday necessarily, there's a 40% off coming soon, which is important because they delayed it. And so a lot of people were kind of annoyed about that. Then we have the growth missions, we have the character ranking, whatever. We have the energy bonus mission. The event world boss is the other thing because they changed it a little bit. They reduced the cost by almost 50%, which is nice. And then they increased the rewards by 20%. Now, it still only drops tier 2 materials and gold. But if they increase the gold by 20% as well, you could get like 1,000,000 gold for spending 60 energy. That's pretty good. Now, I know the other rewards are not good, the Black Antimatter, the Chaos Nornstones, but I encourage you to try it at least once for the gold and see how much gold it is. I'm going to be trying it. I may make a video about it. And then we have the gold store, and then we have the 7-day check-in with 100 crystals, and then we have more chances, double the chances, or double the number of times you can get She-Hulk bios if you want to farm her bios for her uniform. And then we have surprise gifts. So yeah, that's all there is. Let's see how this mid-month update goes, and let's see how the October update lands when we start getting sneak peeks for it in a week. There's a very interesting post on Reddit talking about the possibility of a massive October update, something big in October. And we're not talking about what's down your pants, get your head out of the gutter. We're talking about, look at this, October 2018, GBR was introduced. October 2019, Dimension Missions. October 2020, World Boss Legend. Last year, October, Artifacts and the Eternals Epic Quest. Very interesting theory from Bitchy Cloud Candy. Great name. And we'll have to wait and see. Don't want to get your hypes up too much. Your hypes up, your hopes up, your hope hypes up. Don't want to get them up too much, but it's just an interesting thing to discuss. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button. I'll see you guys tonight on Twitch. And in the meantime, have a great day. Take care.